comeback that everybody wanted.
Johanna is down, so is Uther.
Hitting 3 targets, taking all 3 of them out. Final shot in his face. That's going to be game 2. Well, they tried to pick a fight, but I feel like they're regretting it right now.
This is not the comeback that everybody wanted.
Robinson, and of course next to me is William Chobrocho, and we are coming to you live from fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, and the Heroes of the Storm America's Championship.
That's right, let's make some noise because we are here on Paradise Road, what a fitting name, at the massive Las Vegas Convention Center. And you guys, you guys are here at 10 a.m. in Vegas to watch some Heroes of the Storm. This is gonna be a fantastic weekend. Who's with me? That's right, Anna and I will be your hosts for the next 2 days to guide you through all the Heroes of the Storm you ever wanted.
We are about to watch these 8 battle-hardened teams from all over the Americas just wreak havoc as they fight for their place to represent our region at the Heroes of the Storm World Championship.
That's right, Anna. These teams, they've been going at it all summer in a number of tournaments. And now the top 2 teams from this competition will be moving on to, of course, their final destination at BlizzCon.
And it hasn't been an easy battle getting there. These teams have defeated their local challengers, they've conquered their regional rivals, and as you said, the winning teams will move on to the Heroes of the Storm World Championship at BlizzCon 2014 in Anaheim, California, where they will battle the world's best.
And the world's best they will face. They're gonna go up against champions from China, Korea, Taiwan, and of course, can't forget, Europe. And if they win it all there at BlizzCon, they not only earn the title of being the ultimate champions of Heroes of the Storm, they get their fair share of the $500,000 prize pool and the glory that comes with being the world champions of 2015.
These teams are about to show us what it takes to win. Epic teamwork, undeniable skill, and passion for the game, and of course, all of the practice that it took to lead up to this one moment.
That's right, and with a lot of practice and a lot of game, we all know, probably a lot of late night snacks and a lot of fuel for that too. We all know how that goes for sure.
Absolutely. So now let's get into the action, and calling the shots as we get into our game are our world-class commentators. Are you guys ready up there?
You bet we're ready, Anna. As Anna said, we are coming to you live from sunny Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm Nick Tasteless Plot, and sitting next to me is Dan Simkowski, better known as Artosis.
That's right, Tasteless. I'm totally stoked to be down here with you for the Heroes of the Storm America's Championship, but we aren't up here alone. To help us break down the battles and sort out the strategies, we are joined by our Heroes of the Storm game analyst, Corey Kuby-Halber.
So excited to be here. These teams have been working so hard for the last 3 months to get through this qualifier, to get to the Americas Championship, and I want to take a closer look at that path, starting with the open tournaments in June, July, and August.
And of course, those open tournaments led here to the Americas Championship, where the top 2 teams will go on to the World Championship at BlizzCon.
Take a closer look at the Americas Championship. We're going to have the 5 teams from NA through those open events. We also have 1 team representing from Southeast Asia, 1 from Latin America, and 1 from Australia, New Zealand.
And as the 2 teams qualify here for BlizzCon, they'll be joined by 2 teams from China, 2 teams from Europe, a team from Taiwan, and of course, a team from Korea.
60 countries will be represented at BlizzCon with a $1.2 million prize pool. We can take a little bit of a closer look at the format for this event. We're going to be splitting the 8 teams up into 2 double elimination bracket groups. 4 teams will be advancing from that 2 each into the final 4, where we will crown our champion for the Americas Championship.
And as we see here in Group A, 2 of the big favorites of the tournament, Tempo Storm and Cloud9. Of course, over in Group B, we're going to have a couple of the big underdog teams like Cognitive and Complexity.
We're going to have non-stop action this entire weekend. And by tomorrow evening, we will be crowning our champions. Also, don't forget, the 2 teams that make it to the finals will be going to BlizzCon to battle it out on a global arena. Now let's go back to the main stage with Anna and Chopra.
Thank you, guys. Now, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce you to your blue team. You probably know them from their amazing record so far on the road to BlizzCon. Let us know if they are your favorite to win. The blue team is Tempo Storm.
And their opponents on the red side, are they the brightest ones here in Las Vegas, or are they simply too ahead of their time? It's time to find out for all of us here, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to the stage the Murloc Geniuses!
Into the game against Tempo Storm today, I think we're going to 2-0 them.
Our first game against Murloc Geniuses, we're not too worried about them.
Tempo Storm is a really strong team because they've been playing together for over a year, basically.
If any team is going to throw a curveball at us, it's going to be that team.
We're kind of pulling the long con on them. We let them destroy us in the August qualifiers, so I think they're probably not practicing specifically for us as much as other teams.
They're never afraid to try really risky strategies, and they're not afraid to risk it in a major tournament.
I'd say they're pretty complacent with their play. They don't seem to practice as hard as the other teams.
I think they're pigeonholed on playing melee assassins in any single one of their comps.
They have been not performing as strong as they have been in the past.
Sometimes Murloc Geniuses and the style they play will catch us off guard a little bit right in the beginning, but we're good at adapting and then turning it around back on them.
We like to control early and mid game and just end it before late game even comes a factor.
They can play a lot of different play styles, but when it comes down to it, 80% of our roster has been playing even longer than that, so we can also play as much, if not like better than they can.
They consider themselves to be so far above us that all we have to do is win one game and they'll tilt. We'll get that second one free.
Really exciting stuff. Really interesting to see the confidence they've got of Murloc Geniuses. What are your guys' thoughts after you've seen that video?
Well, you know, I gotta say, Tempo Storm, they have to be the big favorites here. They have just destroyed every other team in North America for so long.
Yeah, they dropped a single map throughout the 3 open tournaments, winning all 3 of them. So, of course, you've got to look at this team and expect that they are going to be the favorites. But Murloc Geniuses, they seem to have a little bit of an edge on Tempo Storm. Historically, they have thrown a lot of, little wrenches into the plan for Tempo Storm. Like they were mentioning, they said they have some really crazy strategies, and they've always been known to be the innovators. They come up with weird things, and we've seen the meta shift so much over the past month. I'm really excited to see what Murloc Geniuses is going to bring to the table today.
Yeah, maybe they can bring something, pull something out of their hat and surprise Tempo Storm. But Tempo Storm is a team that in the late game just gets so strong. They're so smart at their rotations. They're so smart at taking down those map objectives and having those late game team fights. So can Murloc Geniuses actually get them before it gets to that stage?
Yeah, it's going to be tough, and they do show that very, very strong early game. We even heard them talking in those videos about the melee assassins, and I wonder how they're going to play around it. Are they going to let them have it and try to just show them we can beat your best strategy? Are they going to try to draft around it? There's so many different ways the Tempo Storm can take that.
Well, the draft is almost ready, but by the way, as always, we want you to be part of the conversation by going to @esports and using the hashtag HeroesWC to vote on your favorite team and tell us your predictions. We would also like to thank our sponsors, Gigabyte, NVIDIA, and Totino's Pizza Rolls for their support in bringing you the Heroes of the Storm, America's Championship. Now let's go to the draft.
All right, it is time to see what these guys are going to be going for. Of course, going to start with the band and Tyrande, the first band here for Tempo Storm.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Tyrande pairs so well with many of the melee assassins that Murloc Geniuses is known to run. I'm also taking note of the battleground, Tomb of the Spider Queen, a very small battleground that's going to really allow to that play for the melee assassins.
Also, snap ban there on Leoric. This is pretty common. Leoric just generally regarded as one of the strongest heroes in the game. That guy just does not die. So a lot of times people ban him right right away early on. And now we have first pick Jaina here for Tempo Storm.
All right, well, I mean, she is definitely one of the very strong ranged assassins here, especially since Kaeyoh got a little bit of a nerf. So I'm not too surprised to see her picked up too early.
Well, something's missing here, Dan. Where's Zeratul?
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a good point. Zeratul band out here, not even first pick from Tempo Storm. They're letting Murloc Geniuses have this, and they don't even grab it. They're taking Johanna and Uther.
That's interesting. So we have one warrior and one support here, but I totally agree with what you were saying. Normally Zeratul banned right away. I mean, Void Prison just so strong, able to isolate heroes and punish accordingly. So really interesting. Now let's see how Tempo Storm responds to this.
Is there any chance that Tempo Storm doesn't pick up Zeratul? I've never seen Zeratul last 5 picks into a draft. I've never seen it.
Especially late there.
There he is.
We know that Zuna is so strong on this hero, and it surprises me so much. At the very least, that Murloc Geniuses wouldn't take it just to deny Zuna playing this hero. Tempo Storm also going to follow up with the Vala, one of their safe picks. They love the mobility that this hero has and the consistent damage output.
Yeah, look at the damage that they have. Jaina and Vala, 2 of the absolute best range assassins in this game. They have Zeratul, the sneakiest, craziest melee assassin that gets banned out almost every time. It's looking great for Tempo Storm.
And the next bans, Malfurion and Kerrigan. Kerrigan's been on the rise lately. Malfurion just taking out the other possible support there.
Right, traditionally we've seen those 3 supports be very strong. Uther, Malfurion, and Rhaegar. That might be what they're relegating Tempo Storm to grab, just sort of trying to pigeonhole them into that last. But who knows? We've been seeing a lot of the other supports getting picked up, a little bit more Brightwing, Karazim as well, especially in some of the other regions.
And now we see Kaeyoh popping up over here. A great damage dealer, very strong. Not as popular as when he was originally released, but still very powerful hero.
Zagara picked up. Let's take a little bit of a closer look at Zagara and why she's going to be prioritized a bit on this battleground. And the thing I want to bring to your attention is that trait, the Creep Tumor, right? You can throw those down in the bushes, and having control of the objective of this map is so important. Time and time again, we see teams really just dominate this battleground because they have that vision control.
Well, you know, one thing about this battleground, there's so many areas you can pop out and ambush people. So having the Creep Tumors gives you the vision, that gives you the knowledge, and then from there you can you know, basically punish them for any movement that they're doing if they're being detected.
And let's not forget Devouring Maw, her heroic ability. It's very much like Void Prism, can really do a lot to set up a wonderful team fight for your team.
Sure. So this final pick for Murloc Geniuses, going into, are they going to go for an additional warrior? They're going to try to grab some more range. We didn't talk too much about Kaeyoh as well.
And it looks like we're going to have Murden now taken over here. Murden, another very tough warrior, able to get in there, deal the damage, be in the front lines, also with the ability to escape if you do overextend.
Yeah. Right. So traditionally, Tempo Storm has gone for this single warrior, 3 range damage. Zeratul, the melee assassin in this case, one of the few melee assassins that Tempo Storm is willing to play.
Well, they end up picking up Rhaegar as their healer here, so none of those kind of side healers that we're seeing gain some popularity like Karazim or Brightwing. But pretty good composition, it looks like, here from Tempo Storm. And oh my God, it's Thrall.
There's a hero we didn't expect to see. Thrall coming into this. Maybe they're looking at the situation Tempo Storm has not enough stuns, just Murden, and that's a skill shot. Thrall is a hero that if he can get in there, make use of that trait, the Frost Wolf Resilient, he can heal himself. He has a lot of punishing he can throw down, especially with that Sundering. What I'm expecting to see, he gets in your face and punishes the enemy team.
Absolutely, he deals a lot of damage very quickly, gets right in your face, so I'm really excited to see Thrall played here. This is something that we just don't normally see.
It's interesting because in the interviews, Murloc Geniuses was saying that you know, their opponents had gotten a little bit lazy. They weren't practicing as much. I wonder if really Murloc Geniuses has a trick up their sleeve.
Well, you know, earlier on we did see Tempo Storm ban out Kerrigan. That was a character that I thought might go to Murloc Geniuses if it wasn't taken out. And with Zeratul already gone, what melee assassins are left? Thrall, definitely one of them.
This really just shows the adaptation that Murloc Geniuses has, that they are so well known for. If you take out the Kerrigan, Buechter, they have a whole lot of, just a wide variety of melee assassins that they can play, regardless of what gets banned out or picked from the other team. As far as I understand it, yes, the match is ready to go.
The match is ready.
Into it.
The game is now ready, so let's make some noise. This is game number 1, Tempo Storm against Murloc Geniuses.
All right, here we go. It is going to be Tomb of the Spider Queen, and for Tempo Storm, we have Zuna on Zeratul, Soldier on Murden, Arthelon on Jaina, Kaeyoh on Vala, and Dreadnaught on Rhaegar. Over on the Murloc Geniuses side, we have Equinox on Thrall, madtimmy on Uther, Faye on Kaeyoh, CauthonLuck on Zagara, and Fury on Johanna.
So we didn't talk much about the map objectives on this map, but for those of you guys who are not that familiar with this game, don't worry, we're going to guide you through the map objectives for this. You can collect gems by killing the minions from the opposing team. You turn those gems in, and then you get Web Reavers. The Web Reavers can then push in, but hold that thought. Already early engagement there. Johanna managing to escape there for Tempo Storm.
Yeah, quite a big fight there in the center, but it looks like it may be time for these guys to spread out to those different lanes and start soaking that experience.
So we see it's a 5-on-5 right now here in the middle. Once again, Murda now coming in. And a back out there, Zeratul going to go ahead and blink in there. And Zagara with the Banelinks now spraying them back.
Well, still a big fight here in the center, which means Soak is being missed on top and bottom, but quite a fight going on. We see Murda take a lot of damage, a nice jump out of there, but we do have Johanna fall.
Johanna going down there. Murloc Jesus now backing up. Very close. And another takedown there. Thrall be eliminated. 2 takedowns in the first minute.
Wow, that's a big deal here for Tempo Storm, especially since everyone was thinking, you know, that this would be a tough one in the early game. But right now we do see spreading out to these lanes. They're going to have to soak this experience and kill off all these minions.
As we go further here, we have Murloc Geniuses and Tempo Storm over here in the top, or excuse me, in the mid right now. You know, being in the mid like this, you can obviously rotate the top and bottom, look for weaker heroes down there to possibly go and gank them.
Well, right now we do see, you know, this is the part of the game where it slows down just a little bit. They're going to have to kill off these spiders, collect those gems, and be able to turn those in so they can get those web weavers and start pushing the lanes.
Also important to note is if you are taken down, you are going to drop those gems. Your teammates can pick them up, but you have to do it immediately. So if you have a lot of gems on you and you are picked off, you can definitely get behind, especially as this game goes further and further along.
Well, we're going to have to see how this goes. It looks like no more kills have happened yet. We do have some rotations going down from Murloc Geniuses here on the left. And looks like they're trying to just hit both the top lanes very strong while Zagara holds that bottom lane.
Now, although Murloc Geniuses here with a slight lead in experience, it's still pretty neck and neck right now. 1 or 2 mistakes from either team could then slip one into the lead. So still a pretty even game.
Yeah, it may be a tiny slight lead on experience for Tempo Storm, but that's something that it just happens over a course of a few seconds. So we do see right now a big blow up right here. Johanna dying once again, one of the toughest heroes in this game, already with 2 deaths here for Murloc Geniuses.
Murloc Geniuses having a tough time right now. As you can see, we have a turn-in right now there from the Zeratul. Very nicely done. So first turn-in has happened. It's now 13 gems over here to the red team. And that would be Team Tempo Storm. And right now it's going to be up to Murloc Geniuses to try to catch up.
All right, so right now we do have in the center here, Murden going up. We do have Zeratul going down towards that bottom lane. Looks like they are going to try to pressure on Zagara. Zagara going to have to back up. The Hydralisk comes out, and Zuna going to have to run away. All right, so right now a huge wave down there in the bottom. In the meantime, oh, Soldier goes down there on Muradin. Does fall behind that gate, and Murloc Geniuses starting to gain a little bit of tempo against Tempo Storm.
Very nicely done here. Now with 23 gems turned in. Again, you get to 50, that's what it really activates. Zagara getting pretty low. Zagara going to run away. Very nice blink back out. But then a takedown there from Uther.
madtimmy with the plays right there, taking down Zeratul at the last second. Zuna just getting a little bit overconfident.
Meanwhile, coming in here, Jada getting very low, and with a condemn there from Johanna. Pull in, nicely done. Murloc Jesus playing absolutely brilliantly.
Yeah, it was a little bit scary right at the beginning when they lost 2 of their heroes, but looks like they're starting to come back with some strong rotations now. Going down, attacking these towers, attacking this wall in, and already it's out of ammo.
As we see now, a lot of concentration down here at the bottom. It looks like we may, it looks like Bala could turn in over here, but instead is going to go ahead and soak up some more experience there at the top lane. A lane right now that Murloc Geniuses is not occupying. Murloc Genius is really on the offensive so far here, and I'd say very effective at doing it. It's level 7 to level 6, although right now Tempo Storm not too far behind. They can still catch up. Don't forget, they get to level 10, they get those heroic abilities. That's the game changer. You have your heroic abilities before your opponents. You have a lot more opportunities to punish.
That's right. Level 10 is really what we're looking for here, and Murloc Geniuses is doing everything in their power to achieve it first. I love these moves, keeping Zagara, the strong lane push from the bottom, while the rest of them roam around and look for kills. It's working out fantastically so far.
Web Reavers are descending right now, and this is going to be a strong push coming here for Tempo Storm as they are going to be able to shove the lanes back. It's going to be up to Murloc Jesus here to defend all lanes adequately and not lose their keeps. That's their first line of defense.
Well, it looks like all of Tempo Storm is up in the northern part of the map, which means Zagara gets the bottom to herself. They're going to miss a little bit of experience there, but they're looking to push down some walls in that top lane.
So mid lane's going to be cleaned up pretty easily right now. We have Zeratul zoning out Zagara over here and getting a pretty solid push down here at the bottom lane. Looks like rotating up into the top is going to be Murloc Geniuses as the push is going to be stifled now here for Tempo Storm.
All right, it looks like they should be able to hold on here. They have lost the towers, they have lost that gate, and they are starting to push forward, but we do see a nice condemn there going down, pulling everyone in. Fury does end up falling. Equinox goes down as well.
Very nicely done here by Tempo Storm, leaping forward right now. madtimmy on the run, getting stunned there. Zeratul goes in and another takedown.
Denying so many of these gems. Even Faye falls there on Kaeyoh, and that is 4 kills for Tempo Storm. They're going to be able to easily take down this fort, it looks like.
Very nicely done. Taking down this fort over here is going to allow for a much stronger push in the top lane. The stronger minions are going to be spawning up there. Meanwhile, a counter push down here by Zagara. I got to say, very nice job over here by CauthonLuck to try to balance this out, to get the bottom lane weakened while they're losing control of the upper area of the battleground.
Well, you know, Zagara is definitely one of the best lane pushers in the game, but oh, look at that. A nice pickup there by Joanna on Zeratul.
Zeratul had a lot of gems back there. They are not going to be able to retrieve those gems. So that's actually pretty huge, as we haven't had a turn-in just yet here for Murloc Geniuses. Murloc Geniuses just now, in fact, CauthonLuck going to get a turn-in. Still 5 gems off, though.
Uh-oh, it looks like level 10 was just hit here for Tempo Storm, which means they have their heroic abilities. This is going to give them a huge advantage if there's a fight before Murloc Geniuses hits 10.
As we see now, a little bit of a lull here in the storm here. As things have slowed down, it does look like, though, Tempo Storm going to rotate over here, and they might actually be able to ambush over here and actually take the Bruiser camp. Now, when you capture these camps, you do get control of them. They do push lanes for you.
Wow, this is kind of a crazy move, but it looks like madtimmy does check, realizes that they're over there, but it is too late. They already stole that mercenary camp. Great job by Tempo Storm.
Nice shot by Faye there with Kaeyoh through that narrow hallway. You can definitely punish groups in their clump there. Meanwhile, Zeratul over here, Zagara getting very low. Zagara does go down.
Yeah, Kaeyoh even using strafe there to secure that kill on Zagara, and now they're going to go ahead and push that bottom lane while those bruisers are still being cleared in the middle.
Yeah, Web Reavers now descending here as this is an opportunity for Murloc Geniuses to potentially push forward and maybe try to reclaim some of the map. Right now, infrastructure for Tempo Storm is remaining untouched.
All right, the Web Weavers are down in every lane at this point. We're going to have to see where Murloc Geniuses wants to rotate to. Looks like they're going to go up towards this middle lane. There's no wave to clean out for Tempo Storm, so they should be able to get these gates. All right, going up against these gates at the moment. Joanna going up, pulling that condemn, and they're going to be able to take this down in a matter of seconds now. Meanwhile, the rest of the Web Weavers are being cleaned up, but Tempo Storm starting to come down right now.
Beautiful takedown there. The condemn over here pulling in both Zeratul and Jaina. Zeratul and Jaina on the run right now. It looks like they should manage to escape. Actually, a chase back here from Jaina, doing some great damage here to Fury. Meanwhile, the middle fort is going to be going down here as the Web Reaver in the center is going to keep pushing. So Murloc Geniuses will probably continue to stay in this location.
Indeed, they're going to go ahead, push it a little bit more, but as this Web Weaver's about to go down, it makes no sense to stay. They're going to rotate down towards this bottom and see if they can't get some more damage done.
Right now, Murloc Genius is one step ahead of Tempo Storm coming down here. They are going to break down the wall and back out, and I think that's a smart decision. You definitely don't want to overextend there. I believe they're going to go down to the bottom Siege Giant camp. Now, this camp, you can push a lane, and these guys will never be taken down, really, unless heroes come in there and take them out. So an unintended team can really be punished.
But Tempo Storm coming in right now. Zuna with that Void Prism. Beautiful move. 2 of these heroes on the side of Thrall with that Sunder. A beautiful Ancestral goes down on Zuna, and it looks like still Murloc Geniuses caps those Giants.
Excellently done. Right now we have 2 takedowns. Excuse me, 1 takedown now. As just barely Zeratul does manage to escape, but the mod manages to capture there. And we have Thrall going down here as well.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe Thrall lived through that. He was just about to go down. Beautiful save by his teammates there, but it looks like Zuna coming in, trying to deal some more damage, but a nice lifter by Kaeyoh. Zuna goes down.
Beautiful job there, and this is going to be a great opportunity right now for Murloc Geniuses to actually push in here and destroy a lot of the bottom lane right now. Does look like the initial fort is going to be taken down here. And I got to say, what started out is a decent opening here for Tempo Storm is slowly sliding into a lead here for Murloc Geniuses.
Yeah, Murloc Geniuses have really hit their stride, though we've seen some great moves from Tempo Storm, such as the early takedowns on Murloc Geniuses, such as stealing that bruiser camp out from under their noses and the first turn in. They're falling behind a little bit. They've lost 2 of their forts to just 1 of their opponents.
One important thing to note is that the top lane has been softened up here for Murloc Geniuses, and we are getting to a later part in the game where the boss at the very top center is going to be a factor, as you can easily push through a top lane and get to the core.
Yeah, you know, that boss, though, it is hard to get. That is a very thin area. If your team is trapped in there and the other team pins you against that boss, you can die very quickly. So right now we do see actually Murloc Geniuses coming in trying to get Zuna, but it looks like it will not end up working.
And now Murloc Genius is going to go ahead and back up. They are very close to having enough gems to have another turn in here. As we're getting later and later here, the Web Reavers do get stronger and stronger. Meanwhile, the Bruisers now pushing through here in the center lane. The center lane right now for Murloc Geniuses has been pretty solid. They have not even lost a turret there.
Yeah, they've done a great job defending this with those 4-man rotations early on in the game, and they continue to do so. To have that strong middle lane, that's giving them a lot of presence out here on the battleground.
An attempted turn in there, but then denied. Nicely done by Meriden there, by Soldier. As now Murloc Geniuses may be rotating down to the lower lane.
Yeah, it looks like right now Tempo Storm just kind of collecting their bearings at the moment. They don't. It looks like, yeah, they do have enough gems, so they're going to go ahead and turn in and get another set of Web Weavers, and that's going to give them some more pushing presence and hopefully help them to take out a couple more forts.
And this is going to be a very important moment. We got to see where does Murloc Geniuses go. It looks like they want to rotate to the bottom and clean up, just pushing through the north and taking out each Web Reaver there as they are now descending.
All right, well, they do have those gates in the middle that will slow down Tempo Storm. They're going to try their best to save both of these forts up in the front. The Web Weavers have hit the ground. The bottom one going to be cleaned very quickly, but Tempo Storm pushing that middle very strongly.
All right, Murloc Geniuses with a lot of haste here takes out that bottom Web Reaver there. But we see an ambush over here. They do push in. They were actually waiting for Murloc Geniuses to go through the center of the map for an ambush to happen there, but Murloc Geniuses being very smart rotates around over to the left side of the map and now moving up. Meanwhile, this Web Sprinter here, over here at the top, is pushing very strongly.
That's right, and if it gets those gates, that's a lot of experience for Tempo Storm, so they got to clean that up. But right now, the fort is under attack. They're coming up. Oh, a nice wormhole out of there by Zuna, trying to get some damage on.
And we now have the center fort going down here, and it's not ending just yet. Meriden barely escaping.
All right, looks like they have lost that fort, unfortunately. In the meantime, I believe the top gates should be just about down. Yeah, it looks like one of them did fall. So this has been a pretty darn effective Web Weaver push from Tempo Storm.
Yeah, you know, while they were all fighting there in the center and at the bottom, that Web Weaver at the top did manage to chew through that top lane pretty effectively. Meanwhile, down here in the bottom center, we do have Tempo Storm. Looks like testing the waters here. Not going to full on engage. They're opting now to back out. And that's very important because as you get later on in this game, when you're taken down, you're out of the game for a much longer period of time and therefore punished much further.
All right, well, Murloc Geniuses right now kind of rotating down here, pushing them back, zoning them out of this area with their fort. We'll see if they want to go ahead and do anything else down here, like try to counter push. But for the time being, we have Tempo Storm moving north.
And as that goes on, we may have another turn-in, an attempted turn-in. Let's see if it gets denied here. Oh, he actually missed there. It looks like Equinox will get that turn-in, and that will activate the Web Reavers. A missed shot there. The skill shot there did not connect.
All right, well, Murloc Geniuses with that next set of Web Weavers. The point of contention here definitely could be that top lane. They do have a fort there still, and that's something that, of course, Murloc Geniuses would like to take down.
Let's see exactly where they rotate to start to defend. A lot of times you can have an ambush set up in a moment like this, and that's exactly what we see happening here. Murloc Geniuses backing up. And a very good play there by Tempo Storm, not overextending. They're going to go behind, and actually, they're probably going to have to go back to by their defenses, or they might be taken down.
All right, a lot of damage being dealt out to Meriden there, but he does go ahead and use his Avatar Heroic, pushing them back right now. Zuna jumping in and jumping out, dealing some of that heavy damage. Nice jump out by Meriden.
And as they continue to move out here, keep in mind, the bottom lane and the top lane are being pushed, and that's eventually going to close in entirely on them as they keep the focus here in the center.
All right, looks like they are going to be able to take down the wall to this keep area. In the meantime, we do have Zuna in the back getting ready. Maybe we'll see a Void Prism go down. Getting ready right now, walking over there. Of course, he is cloaked. It's hard to see him, and there we go. The Void Prism does go down.
He set up the trap. Can they execute it, though? They're getting into position. It looks like they will probably go ahead and back up. No, they're actually going to move it a little bit further here. Is this an overextension, possibly by Murloc? We see the heroics there activated by Follow as Murloc Geniuses is continuing to run back. Jaina in the chase now. Cigar getting low, take it down.
Oh, beautiful move right there. Ahmad does go down before Cigar falls, but it's not quick enough. Oh, the Ancestral going down on Muradin, saving him. They continue to push forward. A great team fight coming out of Tempo Storm.
Looks like Uther's taken down as well. It's just getting smaller and smaller. The number of heroes right now. Four Murloc Geniuses, and now a third takedown.
Thrall falls as well. Tempo Storm with the rally there. Absolutely awesome fight by Tempo Storm.
Are they gonna? This is the moment, right? They take down a good chunk of the team, so they clearly have superior control here on the map. So what do? Are they going to go for mercenary camps? Are they going to try to push at lanes? That's the real question.
Well, it looks like they want to go back, heal up a little bit, push out these lanes, and get their bruiser camp. I don't think it's a time where they can grab the boss too easily.
I think you're right. I think that would be just a little bit too dicey.
They don't want to take too many risks here, but as of this moment, the game is very even. Both teams on level 17. Everyone's going to be up at full health with their cooldowns ready very, very shortly.
You know, the only thing I could say that would be a small lead would be the bottom lane still pretty decently controlled here. When we take a look at Murloc Geniuses, they actually have a good push there, and they also have all the infrastructure in that lane there still supporting it.
All right, well, we'll see if that actually changes the flow of this game. In the meantime, we do have Tempo Storm pushing out this center lane. They do have a nice big push there with their bruiser camp, but Murloc Geniuses is waiting to destroy it.
Another turn in here. Dread gonna come in now with 14 gems. Zuna also has a lot of gems, so we can definitely do a turn in right there.
Yeah,
and let's see if that gets interrupted. Very good job there by Johanna with the spray skill shot, actually able to punish pretty effectively.
Oh, nice stun coming out from Muradin. Now, Johanna does actually have 44 gems right now, so definitely gonna be a target that they'd like to take down, but Johanna, very hard to take out.
Yeah, Johanna just does not die, man. She's a very, very strong hero, and definitely good for kind of focusing into the front of a fight and soaking up a lot of damage. Now we have another turn in here. More Web Weavers are descending, and that means we're gonna have Murloc Geniuses here on the defense for the time being.
All right, well, you know, I think they should be able to defend reasonably well, but all the Web Weavers coming out. Looks like Tempo Storm gonna clean up these lanes as best they can, and again, this bottom fort still stands. Can Tempo Storm take it out?
Yeah, that's the big question here. And notice the patience here of Murloc Geniuses. A lesser team would have run out and one of them would have been picked off, but they're going to stay back. They're staying by the defenses. They're going to go ahead and bait the Web Weaver in here and then shut that down. Meanwhile, though, a beautiful rotation over here to the center lane for Tempo Storm as they're going to see if they can possibly set up an ambush. It looks like where the smoke is in this small lane.
Well, some nice blinking and wormholing out there by Zeratul, doing some great damage. But, of course, the healer here for Murloc Geniuses, keeping his team alive very well. Now, we do have Murloc Geniuses rotating up into kind of an awkward position. Johanna jumps in there with the Condemn.
And it looks like now we have Muradin going into heroic form for the time being. Meanwhile, we have, very close there. Oh, beautiful Ancestral there to save that. Meanwhile, Equinox may be cornered here. Equinox taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, Tempo Storm doing a great job. Ahmad does catch a couple of them. madtimmy, the only one left. He does fall as well, and Tempo Storm has eliminated everyone, but Kaeyoh's pushing through the keep, going after the core now. This could be a good game.
It's getting very low now. They have to defend this. If they lose the core, they lose the game. It's 5 heroes missing. The core getting lower and lower. It looks like Tempo Storm is going to take game number 1. GG!
Wow, an absolutely stellar game from Tempo Storm, as I'm sure many fans did expect. But we saw some strength there from Murloc Geniuses as well, didn't we, Kubi?
Very
Great strategy thrown in there with the Thrall, and I think that was just, that type of wrench that we're seeing thrown in, and they really were able to keep up with that all throughout that last game. It is just a couple fights here and there, really highlighted by some amazing Zeratul play. And if there was any question that Tempo Storm wasn't maybe not up to their usual standards with their teamwork and everything, I think that has completely gone out the window, and they came to play. So I want to bring you guys a quick replay to highlight some of that Zeratul play. Take note on that mini map right there where Zeratul's positioning is. Everything is about the flank. We don't have those void prisons yet to set up for those flanks. This is about that early game, making use of the Zeratul, following through. And without that wormhole, he has to get those flanks. So we're going to go ahead and play this through just a little bit. Pay attention to that Zeratul as he comes up from the back. Automatically, are targeting onto Fury, takes him out. Equinox is the next. They know that he's got that sustain. And look at the teamwork from the rest. They just keep following. Soldier going in, knows he can get that stun to slow. And with Arthelon following as well, Janus trait, they just take a ridiculously strong team fight. The flow from the rest of the team following up, leaded by that Zeratul play, absolutely immaculate.
Just a fantastic move. They denied so many gems right there with all of those kills right around that fort. So definitely Zuna, one of the big MVPs in this game.
Well, it's not over yet. It is a best of 3, and we'll be going to game number 2 after this short break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Right now, practice is kind of set in stone for us. We can only scrim max 6 hours a day because some people have jobs and stuff, so we had to work around that.
I think a stronger team is kind of determined on how well you use your practice and opposed to how much time you're actually spending practicing. If you're practicing for 4 hours really well, it's better than 8 hours of not very good practice.
Welcome back to the Heroes of the Storm America's Championship. This crowd has already been amazing. If you're watching from home, I pity you because the sound in this arena is already amazing, already so early here in Vegas. Guys, can you tell me who you want to win this series, please?
Okay, we're hearing a little bit of Tempo Storm, but I know some of you guys out there are shouting Murloc Geniuses. I saw some of you guys going crazy when we introduced him yesterday. But what a great first match. You guys have been great here. Here's the Storm, a very fun game to watch with your friends. But it's not over yet, is it? We still have a best of series. Murloc Geniuses could bring it back. You think they're going to bring it back in game 2? That's what I like to hear. Well, let's find out with our commentators back over at the desk.
All right, guys, we are back. We are almost ready to go into our game. First, we would like to thank our sponsors. They have been absolutely fantastic in promoting this event. Gigabyte and Video, Totino's Pizza Rolls. Thank you so much for helping us and supporting us here at the Heroes of the Storm America's Championship. Going into this game, I gotta say, Tempo Storm, the opposing team, Murloc Geniuses, they did say that Tempo Storm wasn't ready. They haven't been playing as much. I thought they looked pretty solid back there.
Yeah, they did. They did look really, really good. And I think going into this draft, we have to think about one thing Murloc Geniuses does, Zeratul. Looked way too strong in those shenanigans that were going on, not banning out Zeratul, not picking it up early. You cannot let that happen again. It was just too strong for Tempo Storm.
Well, other than letting Zuna take his Zeratul that we all know is so strong, what else can Murloc Geniuses do? Is there some sort of little tricky composition they might be able to go for? A different type of strategy, perhaps, here on Dragonshire?
Well, Dragonshire is going to be really about making those rotations. And having a strong rotation crew is going to be important, having a strong solo laner in that top lane. But I think the biggest thing that I have to highlight is being comfortable. Don't play anything that's outside of what you guys have practiced, because this is a huge stage, and this is really a test for a team. Murloc Geniuses have not been at a LAN yet.
And that's something very important to factor in, is when you're on the big stage and there's all these people watching you play. It's not like the team house. It's not like you're playing at home. It's a completely different beast, and it's a total new skill to master.
Yeah, it definitely is tough, and we're going to see some of these teams have nerves here today. We definitely have a big difference in how many tournaments these teams have played in, and the more experience you have, the more comfortable you're going to play on that stage.
Well, the draft is ready. It's time to go to the pick ban phase of this. This is half of the game right here, guys. What heroes do you pick? Simultaneously, you're denying them those heroes, the ability to use them. And of course, you get the opportunity to ban heroes entirely from the game.
And as Dan mentioned, the battleground is Dragonshire. The space between the middle and bottom lanes are very close. We often do see those 4-man rotation groups between the two, but the name of the game is about controlling those shrines. If you have control of both of them, you can channel one hero to become the Dragon Knight, a great siege pushing device. So you need to always keep that in mind.
All right, well, our first ban goes to Murloc Geniuses, and they take out Kaeyoh. What do you have to say about that, Kubi?
Kaeyoh, they're really just recognizing that that is a huge damage output. It's really a hero that's only played so much in the North American meta. Around the world, not as much, but they're continuing to take out that Tyrande as well. They recognize once more, they know Murloc Geniuses likes the melee assassin, and she just pairs so well with the Hunter's Mark, the Lunar Flare. Everything is just made to work with melee assassin.
Tyrande also very popular in the North American scene.
Yes,
plenty
absolutely.
of teams. The stun so strong, really able to disable, then get in there and engage. But for Murloc Geniuses, getting the first hero pick, they're going with Jaina.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting because, again, this leaves one of the strongest solo laners in Leoric, and it leaves, of course, Zeratul.
They have to have a better strategy going into this than what we just saw. It was a close game, don't get me wrong, but Zeratul really made some amazing plays, backed up by the rest of the team, of course, and it's always going to be about that. And they're not even taking it once more. They're just going to let Murloc Geniuses play it again. This is almost a slap in the face saying, we don't think you can play Zeratul. We'll make sure that we get these stronger picks.
Yeah, we're already seeing the meta here at this tournament developing, right?
Yeah.
People are not really focusing on Zeratul at all. He's not a primary concern. You know, Artos and I, we both cast in Korea where Zeratul is like banned 80% of the time.
Oh, yeah.
The first time. But instead, it's going to be Uther, support, and Leoric, a warrior.
Well, you know, Uther is considered the best support in the game, and Leoric, one of the greatest solo laners, one of the strongest warriors that we have here.
Yep. So we're going to be following this up with a Johanna and a Zagara pick. Zagara is, we talked about having those strong solo laners, very likely to be that Leoric Zagara matchup in the top lane for that Dragon Shrine. In the ban phase, we're moving into it. Rexxar is taken out. That's something I didn't expect to see.
I didn't expect to see that either. Rexxar, our newest hero here in Heroes of the Storm.
Here's what's funny about that. I thought we might see Rexxar picked. I didn't think we were going to see him banned.
They didn't even show it yet. They haven't shown the strategy, but they're still respecting the possibility for it.
I think they just don't want to be caught off guard here by anything. You know, Rexxar has only been out for about a week and a half now, so they may not have that much practice against him. So, hey, they won that first game strongly. Why not just remove him here and make sure they don't get caught off guard?
I do like the Zagara pick. Zagara is just so strong. Zagara also functioning a lot like Zeratul there, who's also just now been banned. But Zagara, having her out there, the Maw able to catch, it's really quite strong for controlling a crowd.
Really, really good points, Nick. Moving into this Tempo Storm, picking up Kerrigan. I cannot stress how rare this is for Tempo Storm. The only melee assassin they will ever play is Zeratul. They have this paired up with Uther. Divine Shield goes a long way to make sure the Kerrigan can get into the fight with that Maelstrom, get a lot of value out of that. This is something new from Tempo Storm.
Oh, that's really exciting then. Do you think that Zuna is going to go ahead and take Kerrigan?
I would have to think so, yeah.
Kerrigan is going to be a big focus here when getting in and getting into that engage. They also, Kerrigan able to just keep a player stuck there for a while.
All right, we have Rhaegar and Illidan coming up now as the last two picks here from Murloc Geniuses. I'm really surprised to see Illidan picked up.
Yeah, Illidan, no Abathur to back that up, and Rhaegar, it's going to make that very difficult. The Ancestral Heals have to be on point. Illidan is about getting in, making sure that you can stay alive, be a nuisance, and really just block out the enemy team, making sure you can get a lot of auto attacks in. But if you don't have that Divine Shield, the Abathur hat, it makes things tricky. I think it's a very interesting pick, though.
Yeah, it's funny, when Illidan was first very popular, yeah, you're right, it was always that Abathur combo. And then for a little while, a lot of people were saying that Illidan was just bunk. But apparently not. Apparently when everything's on the line, they're going to go for it.
All right, well, he was picked up in the last pick for Tempo Storm, going to be Arthas. A double tank composition.
Double warrior composition for Tempo Storm. They're also running a melee assassin, so they have clearly been practicing new strategies, understanding that, you know, we can run this triple range, but if teams figure this out, figure out how to play against it, that's going to put us in a bad spot. So this clearly shows that they have done their homework going into this series today.
You know what's so cool about this is this game is so new. We don't really understand it yet. Like, we're all learning it, we're seeing it develop, but you know, things are changing very quickly with you know, what teams are good, who's picked, who's banned. and of course the meta, and then the new maps coming out. So it's really exciting to see this develop, and I think we're going to be learning a lot here at this tournament about how exactly the current state, the current understanding of Heroes of the Storm ends. Anyways, we're going to be going now into game number 1. Let's get loud, let's get hype. This is game number 2. Tempo Storm against Murloc Geniuses.
All right, here we go, guys. On Tempo Storm, we have Zuna using Kerrigan, Soldier on Leoric, Arthelon on Arthas, Kaeyoh on Bala, and Dreadnaught going to be taking up Uther. Over on the Murloc Geniuses side of the map, we have Equinox taking up Illidan, madtimmy here on Rhaegar, Faye on Jaina, CauthonLuck once again on Zagara, and Fury on Johanna.
Coming up here into the top center. This is a good location to set up for an ambush. And an ambush is exactly what we're going to get. Zuna getting solo. It looks like she might not be able to get out in time, and she does go down.
Kerrigan does fall almost immediately. Jaina falls as well, starting to chase out Illidan. Illidan does get out of there and backs up. And it looks like that is just going to be a 1-for-1 trade.
And now we see a quick rotation down here into the center lane. We have Zagara over there at the top lane. Nobody's soaking experience at the bottom lane, but since, like I said, nobody's down there, it's not like anybody's really at a disadvantage at this point in time with experience.
Yeah, that is true. You know, those little scuffles, they can look big and look like they mean a lot, but I think a lot of it is just getting inside the other team's head by winning them. They're not going to be that far behind right now.
Coming up here now is Tempo Storm, pushing back Murloc Geniuses. They are going to have center control there. Now remember, the map objectives here, there's the top shrine and the bottom shrine. If you control the top shrine, which we see up here, and keep control of that, as well as controlling the bottom shrine, then you get to enter into and become the Dragon Knight. The Dragon Knight, very powerful for pushing lanes. Definitely you want to try to deny your opponents from getting that, and most importantly, you want to get that map objective and push that lane.
That's right. It's really hard to get the Dragon Knight, but once you get him, he can take down buildings, he can fight one-on-one against heroes. Definitely a very strong map objective. So we're going to see a lot of rotations like Kubi was talking about before on this map.
Yeah, rotations are absolutely key on this map. Shrine control right now. North Shrine going to the red Murloc Geniuses. Bottom Shrine going to the blue Tempo Storm team. And meanwhile, speaking of Tempo Storm, Arthas trying to escape here, and a beautiful catch there. Wonderful body blocking there from Illidan, but did I speak too soon? Illidan now taking a lot of damage, and it's going to be a counterattack here as Kerrigan now on the run.
It looks like Dreadnaught going to go ahead, throw all his heals down onto Kerrigan there, so she will end up living, but definitely a lot of damage put down, and has to tap that well.
You got to be careful. You know, you tap that well, you have a little while before you can tap it again. Otherwise, you have to Hearthstone back to heal up. So a lot of timing here. You really don't want to take any damage that's unnecessary. Speaking of which, we do have a retreat here by madtimmy.
Yeah, gonna have to back up. A lot of rotations coming out of Tempo Storm right now, and look at this, a nice jump in there by Kerrigan, Leoric on as well, and it looks like right now Fury is going to go down.
Pretty nice play there, actually taking it at Johanna. That's never an easy takedown. Meanwhile, Illidan over here going to destroy this bruiser camp, allowing a strong push to come out of that.
You know, I absolutely love the way that Tempo Storm is playing this game. They're mostly using Arthas up top to clear the creep of Zagara, to solo that lane a bit, and then rotating with the rest. Kerrigan, definitely one of the best heroes for running around the map early game and getting a lot of takedowns.
Yeah, she's very, very strong. By the way, top shrine now going over here to the blue team, Team Tempo Storm. Bottom shrine now going to Murloc Geniuses. Not clear if Murloc Geniuses will be able to reclaim that top shrine for a little bit. I don't know if Zagara can really get up there. But we do see some of Tempo Storm coming down here. Now notice an ambush set up here in the bushes. Tempo Storm really interested not just in controlling the lanes, getting the mercenary camps, but they're very good when they rotate into getting into a good spot to possibly trap and punish the opposing team.
Yeah, very well said, and that's something we see a lot on this map. But right now we do have a fight going down. Illidan jumping on top of Arthas here. Arthas taking lots and lots of damage, but dealing that damage as well. Arthas does end up falling. Illidan gonna have to run out of here. Kerrigan in the meantime taking lots of damage. We do see Fury coming up, but isn't able to finish him off.
Very nice push there by Murloc Geniuses. A good escape there by the Leoric there for Tempo Storm. As they're going to let that bruiser lane push in just a little bit more. They have not reclaimed the top shrine just yet, but it looks like Jaina's now rotating up there. Meanwhile, we might have an engagement over here. No, Dread goes ahead and heads into the center now. as we are probably going to see Tempo Storm try to deny the Dragon here in the middle if they can't reclaim a shrine.
Yeah, it looks like they did send Vala down south, so they do have that shrine now. That's going to be fine. No Dragonite going to be taken for Murloc Geniuses quite yet.
Yeah, and this is not uncommon. When you get to very high-level games, it's pretty tough to actually have one team get the Dragon early on, unless there's an incredible punish. And right now, I think these guys, even though Tempo Storm being the favorite, they seem pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, I definitely would have to agree with you there, Tasteless. It's definitely a very close game here still. But I do love the way that Tempo Storm is controlling this middle area. It makes their rotations so quickly. They are switching lanes left and right, and there's not a lot that Murloc Geniuses can do to stop them.
Yeah, Murloc Genius is really on the defense. Important to note, by the way, if you lose the forts in the front lane here, no matter what team you are, you really don't have enough vision to get out there and try to get those shrines as easily. So the first line of defense on this map especially, very, very important.
Well, right now we do see a lot of big moves here. We have Murloc Geniuses pushing in this top lane very strongly with the help of Zagara actually jumping on top of Arthas right now. Arthas trying to get out of there. Illidan chasing. They're going pretty deep behind this fort right now, and Leoric rotating up to help.
What if that was a bit of an overextension there by Murloc Geniuses, but a beautiful play. I want to highlight what he did there, actually jumping over that wall. That's why a lot of times when there's an Illidan player in the game, they don't always destroy the wall so he can actually get over there.
Oh, and look at that, a great dodge on Kerrigan's pull in there by Illidan. He does get out of there alive. Looked like he might have gone down, but, you know, Tempo Storm keeping them on their toes. Murloc Geniuses, though, a little bit too quick to get taken down.
And we have a rotation over here coming now down into the middle lane. It is actually Tempo Storm that has the shrine. They are also going for the Bruiser camp at the same time. I hope they're not biting off more than they can chew here.
Well, right now we do see, oh man, Kerrigan getting taken down in a matter of seconds. Nice move there by Murloc Geniuses. This should buy them enough time to easily capture one of these shrines and prevent the Dragonite from going to Tempo Storm.
Interesting to see Tempo Storm actually go for that. I guess seeing that the opposing team, Murloc Geniuses, was closer to level 10, they knew they probably wouldn't be able to actually get or win the skirmish over the Dragonite, so instead they went for the Bruiser camp and disguised that by having two of their other players over there in the center. Meanwhile, by the way, at the top, the shrine attempted to be acquired. It looks like taken out very quickly there. Nicely done there by Murloc Geniuses. Definitely going to get control of the top shrine.
Just a fantastic move with that heroic stun there from Johanna to take him out. So it looks like right now we do actually have Uther getting trapped here for a moment, and it looks like Zagara going to get in that Dragonite and start pushing.
So we're going to have a strong push. It's Murloc Geniuses that gets the Dragonite first. Meanwhile, we have Uther just trying to run away here. Arthas getting so low. Arthas is going to for sure be taken down. It looks like Arthas still running out right now, though. I spoke too soon.
The healing here on Arthas is absolutely insane, but finally Arthas does get taken out, and it looks like we will have Uther taken out as well.
And this is going to mean that the top lane right now is going to be very softened up here for Tempo Storm. There's just not much they can do to defend there with 3 heroes taken down. Dragonite still with about 20 seconds remaining at 25% health. They can definitely still do a little bit more damage. They'll probably rotate down here into the middle and just see what else they could possibly eke out to continue this lead.
You know, a really great play here by Murloc Geniuses, but it's truly impressive how Tempo Storm just stays alive during all of this. How long Arthas survived there, for instance, buying time, but it looks like Kerrigan getting attacked right now. We do have Uther trying to save her.
And coming up here, they've actually activated the Siege Giants. Meanwhile, looks like Illidan just trying to back out. Now, very low on HP. That will be an interesting trade there, as now they're going to have to give up that mercenary camp on the territory, I should say, for Tempo Storm. Very nice capture there by them, as they're going to have a strong push in the bottom lane.
All right, well, it looks like CauthonLuck going to go ahead and clean up this lane as best he can. We do have 4 Tempo Storm players down here. Might be going out to take out this mercenary camp, get these bruisers, and help push through that fort on the bottom.
And I like this quick grab down here, just realizing that that lane was pushing enough and these Siege Giants were just enough of a distraction. This is what you do when you want to get a lead. If you see this small thing they have to focus on, you already jump to the next thing to keep them juggling all those tasks while you control the map.
Well, right now we do have CauthonLuck going ahead, laying a creep tumor at that siege camp. Wants to keep an eye on it. In the meantime, Tempo Storm erasing those siege giants, pushing forward right now with these bruisers, and that's going to force a rotation down by Murloc Geniuses, which will give Tempo Storm time to go elsewhere.
Yeah, Tempo Storm looks like heading a little bit northbound here and going to try to push in this lane as well. Note, all the mercenary camps on the map at this point in time have been captured, so now it's really just about lane control and setting up an ambush.
That's right, and when that Dragon Shire comes up, those Dragon Shrines, they're going to have to try to grab those, but right now we have the fort being taken down on the bottom. Nice move here by the Murloc Geniuses.
Murloc Geniuses is not giving up without a huge fight here. They're doing absolutely beautifully here in this game, as both bottom lane and top lane have lost their forts.
All right, well, you know, Murloc Geniuses, no doubt, is in a lead here. Level 14 against level 12. They're up by a couple of forts, which is absolutely gigantic, and they've gained control of the center of the map. Early on, we saw Tempo Storm controlling that area, rotating very quickly, but now they're kind of in the dark. They don't know where their opponents are, so they have to be much more careful.
Yeah, it's a huge problem, man, and it's something they're going to have to try to engineer some kind of solution for. But meanwhile, Dread actually taking a lot of damage, and it looks like it might not be able to get out in time. Yeah. All right, using that heroic ability, but of course when you use the heroic ability and you get out, you can't use that for a little while, which means that another advantage here for Murloc Geniuses is they just have more opportunities if they do get into battle in about the next 60 seconds.
And that's really, really important because you need that Divine Shield to go on Kerrigan. If you force Uther to use it on himself, that makes Kerrigan a lot weaker in the next battle. So this is great. That's the second time that Murloc Geniuses has forced Tempo Storm's Dreadnaught to use it on himself.
Now hold on here. Tempo Storm has both shrines. The question is, can they get to the Dragon Knight? We do see that right now Murloc Genius is not as interested in actually going and getting that top shrine. Just going to have one of their heroes, Johanna, go down and capture the bottom while they had an ambush set up over there. But Tempo Storm did not bite the bait. They had the shrines, but they didn't get too eager. They did not overextend.
Yeah, you know, I really like these moves that they do. They capture those shrines, realize, oh, we can't quite get the Dragon Knight in time, so let's just go ahead and grab that Bruiser Camp. It's working out well for them, but right now we have Murloc Geniuses rotating up, going for this attack. We have a nice metamorphosis there right on top of the team, and it looks like Illidan dealing a lot of damage.
And we have a takedown here, and it looks like we might have a second. Johanna's getting Johanna now taken down. Tempo Storm playing beautifully right now. Kerrigan, or Illidan rather, on the run.
Oh, and a beautiful move there by Arthas, getting that Divine Shield. Oh, and we have Zagara going down as well. Only Jaina left over, which means Tempo Storm killed 4 for 0.
4 for 0 and level 15. Forget about the lead there that we were talking about for Murloc Geniuses. There's a lot of room right now for Tempo Storm to then seize this game and begin a comeback.
That's right, we have Arthas in the bottom, taking this bottom shrine, and it looks like, you know, there's no way to stop this. They are going to get the Dragon Knight and start pushing through the center.
This is the Tempo Storm we've seen since game 1 here. Even when they're not in the lead at the start, they managed to get a very strong grasp on the game as it continues to get further and further along. And of course, the longer a Heroes game goes on, the much more you can be punished for mistakes.
All right, well, right now we do see them trying to hit all of these forts at the same time, kind of poking all over the place, seeing where their opponents are at. Right now we have Kaeyoh inside that Dragon Knight, trying to push in the middle, and Soldier up here on Leoric trying to hit this top fort as well.
I really like the cautious play there by the Dragon Knight. The Dragon Knight keeping a distance. This is very different from when I play on Battle.net solo queue and the Dragon Knight just runs in there and dies. But you can really see the teamwork here from Tempo Storm as they're doing a fantastic job. And they're really testing the waters here. They're really doing a great job of not overextending here, of keeping this Dragon Knight around for a little while and keeping Murloc Geniuses up on the ropes.
And you know, I have to say, actually, Murloc Geniuses is doing a pretty good job against this. This is hard to play against. But they continue to rotate. They continue to keep all 3 forts alive, which is very impressive for this late into the game.
It looks like Dragon Knight now being chased back here, but notice there is a setup here. Coming out of the bushes is Arthas now, and it looks like Fury may be surrounded, but of course that is Johanna, so not a lot of damage can be done to that. Heroic form here, and Maw coming down as a re-engage from Murloc Geniuses.
And it looks like Illidan getting healed up so well. A beautiful shield there on Johanna. It looks like they do keep Leoric alive for a bit. Does fall down though. Kaeyoh running away with Vala, but Illidan has something to say about that. Going after him. Nice heals by Uther's Ghost, but finally Kaeyoh goes down.
Beautiful play there. A little bit of back and forth there, but after they activated that mob, they really managed to dissect the team and then take them out. And we're going to have a very strong push through the bottom lane. By the way, bottom lane, one of the more important lanes on this map because it is so open. It is much easier to push in after you do get a team kill.
Well, it looks like right now they are going to go ahead and be able to grab that fort. In the meantime, Leoric just going 1-on-5 right now, showing just how powerful he is. We have Arthas coming down to join as well. Murloc Geniuses with lots of damage on them deciding they have to run.
Gotta be careful. Jaina was in the back there. We have a heal there on Jaina. Johanna trying to get in the way right now. Johanna very good for body blocking in situations like this, but Leoric and Arthas still in pursuit.
Well, it looks like they have gotten out of there with their lives intact, and they took down the keep. That is so important. When you get a keep taken out, you get catapults in that lane, as you can see right here. They are very powerful and help you to push through your enemy's waves quite quickly.
And that means any lane unattended is going to be a lane that you're losing if those catapults are pushing towards your core. Now we do have some more mercenary camps respawning, and so immediately recapturing is Murloc Geniuses over here in the upper right. Down here in the south center, Tempo Storm now taking a Murloc, excuse me, not a Murloc camp, a Bruiser camp down here.
I wish they were Murloc
I wish they were Murloc camps. Taking out that camp, and that's going to be a strong counter push into the bottom lane. But again, you know, the infrastructure here for Murloc Geniuses is so strong. I think even if Murloc Geniuses lost almost their entire team, Tempo Storm still wouldn't be able to win the game immediately. And especially when you're this high in level, a lot of times it's your team gets killed and they just go right to the core.
That's true. And if Tempo Storm does all go down, Murloc Geniuses may be able to do that, but Tempo Storm is going to have to gain some ground here. They need to take out some forts. They need to try to take out a keep also. But Murloc Geniuses is just not having any of it.
Down here, Leoric is getting very low. Leoric actually with March of the Black King coming back in to try to re-engage. The team though, Murloc Geniuses a bit separated. Not clear who's actually going to be able to take this. Arthelon still continuing to push it.
Oh,
beautiful ancestral there by on the Zagara. But now madtimmy is going to be the one sacrificed. Murloc Geniuses losing 3 heroes. Only Jaina and Zagara remain, and that's not really a combo that can engage you know, any 2 heroes that they got right now for Tempo Storm. So, I mean, they're going to have to retract, go back to their base, play the defense.
Well, that was definitely the type of battle that Tempo Storm needed. The levels are tied up. Both teams very close to 20. 20, of course, where you get those Storm talents, a very important level.
And here we go. We have the Dragon Knight now taken, and we're going to see another push in here. Last push of the Dragon Knight, not so successful. This one should be a little bit stronger as Tempo Storm now has that heroic ability, as well as the fact that there's still the death timer ticking right now for Murloc Geniuses. They can't come back in the game. Just Jaina and Zagara spamming out projectiles to try to delay this push.
Well, right now we do have a big push into the center here by the Dragon Knight. Still 2 heroes down for Murloc Geniuses. Looks like they should be able to take out this center keep, and that's a big deal. That's the quickest way to run to your opponent's core to take them down. So Tempo Storm has really made up for everything in these last couple minutes.
Yeah, I really like this rotation down here. Now, the only thing remaining once this first form of infrastructure, the fort, is destroyed, is going to be the top lane. But Dragon Knight still 30 seconds remaining, 46% health. They still got a while to try to milk out some more damage with this.
Well, we see right now Kaeyoh sitting there as bait. Everyone coming in to attack that Dragon Knight, and Tempo Storm coming in now. Kerrigan a little bit far behind. Not sure if they're going to actually fully engage here, but they are continuing to push and poke.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job here. Murloc Geniuses has got to be kicking themselves right now. Now, even though that was a great play by Tempo Storm, let's not forget that there's still a much weaker defense back there at Tempo Storm's base. So right now, the best offense probably is the good defense.
Well, right now we have Zuna actually jumping in there, taking a lot of damage, busting that Maelstrom and getting invulnerable. Going after Zagara right now. Zagara does use Bolt of the Storm to get out of there. In the meantime, Illidan grabbing his Metamorphosis and jumping in on top of Leoric and Arthas.
Johanna with a Condemn there, pulling them in and then backing right out. A Maw there, but only capturing one hero right now, and that was Leoric. Leoric now trying to come back in here and bash down the gates, but Jaina pouring down the blizzards, a lot of damage. Beautiful Ancestral.
That Ancestral on Illidan, so big. Illidan still alive in this battle, still pushing forward right now, going after Leoric. Leoric trying to raid walk out of here, but will he go down?
And you can see Leoric, he's trying to just stall time, just trying to buy some time, but the inevitable is coming. The march of Murloc Geniuses headed to the left side of the map. Right now, Tempo Storm has to defend the core. The question is, can they?
I don't think that they can, Tasteless. It looks like Zuna back here on Kerrigan, the only one that is up right now. We do have others reviving. We do have Uther coming, but this should not be enough. They have a lot of time to try to take them down.
Looks like Kerrigan's going to try to defend, try to distract, but is it going to be enough here? We see them hitting the core right now. Illidan's going to go ahead and back out.
Uh-oh, it looks like right now it might be turning. Tempo Storm is holding off the Murlocs, and it looks like they may all end up falling.
As you can see, Johanna so low, just trying to get away.
Oh, indestructible, being popped right there. But Fury not going to make it out of here alive. Running back in, buying time for his teammates. But only Jaina is left up for Murloc Geniuses.
Dude, that was absolutely insane how long he stayed alive. So now, that was actually a really good play because he bought a lot of time, right? As long as they're chasing that hero around, they're not actually headed towards the core. So that was a really good play just to kind of make them waste their time. But right now, I'm seeing Tempo Storm headed over here to the core, and I just don't see much defense.
No, it looks like they should be able to take this out, popping all their heroics as much as they can. They are going after this core, and it looks like this core should be going down.
It's been a back and forth game, but losing this core will be what decides victory. And that's going to do it. GG.
An absolutely fantastic turn there by Tempo Storm. A clutch move by Zuna, taking out Rhaegar, taking out their sustain. And I just can't believe that they were able to turn that around, Kubi.
They're really showing the strong double warrior play, being able to support the Kerrigan, the Divine Shields. Everything fell into place for Kerrigan, and she's able to get her work done. They're able to capitalize the mistakes of the enemy team. In this case, Murloc Geniuses, they had some great setups, some great potential with that Ring of Frost pickup. We don't get to see that too much in NA. The clip I'm about to show you guys really kind of highlights that. How Tempo Storm, they will wait out until the right opportunity to go in, and then they will punish the mistakes of the enemy team, in this case, Murloc Geniuses. So see if we can get that replay pulled up just a second. There it is. Okay, so take a look at this as we file into this. I want you guys to pay attention to the Maw that pops up. They really need to capitalize on that. Get a good Maw into a Ring of Frost. All about that. We see Ancestral. It's okay. It's not really getting that. So we're going to pause it. They do hit 2 members with this Maw. And the big thing that you need to look at is Faye on the Jaina really needs to get that Ring of Frost. They have 2 members locked up in that. If the timing is right, they can dish out an insane amount of damage and control. They will have a hard time catching up to the front line. So we're going to advance this a little bit. Zuna and Soldier also standing right in that spot. They could have hit a huge Maw, and the Maw was good. They're able to get that Ring of Frost, not able to hit it. A great Divine Shield, being able to punish Equinox. Once you take Illidan out of this, it's all lights out. CauthonLuck, a 4-0 game. This is really what propelled Tempo Storm back into this fight. We had a really close late game, but that's really what Tempo Storm is just known to be so good at.
Well, I mean, I don't know if anyone's going to be able to stop Tempo Storm. Everyone was talking about, oh, maybe they're a little bit complacent. Maybe they're not going to be able to take this down. But they're saying, you know what, we dominated all year, and we're going to BlizzCon.
I mean, they played so well. It's kind of crazy when you get that deep into the game. I mean, when you really punish them, there's almost no way to come back. I mean, it's all up to, did you keep everything alive? Because that's all your structures there, because otherwise they're going to perch right in there and take you out. It was absolutely fantastic. Now, that's not obviously our only match here today. We're just getting started, and we have plenty more best of 3s coming up here. Super exciting stuff.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun coming up.
We're going to have Cloud9 versus Immunity for the second set of games in this group. That will be just for Group A, so we'll be kind of advancing through that group as we go forward today.
All right, guys, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, more Heroes of the Storm action here. Stay tuned.